Hey guys, we're here to tell you about the appendicular skeleton. It consists of
the pectoral and shoulder girdle, the upper limb,
the pelvic girdle, and the lower limb.
It consists of 126 bones. So the shoulder girdle is comprised of two bones, the clavicle and the scapula. The clavicle articulates with the sternum and the scapula, and it supports the shoulder. The scapula is triangular shaped, and it attaches many muscles, and it articulates with the humerus and the clavicle. The shoulder girdle as a whole is very flexible, and it is easily dislocated. Now moving on to the upper limb, which each arm consists of 30 separate bones, and it consists of an arm, forearm, and a hand. So the humerus is part of the arm that articulates with the scapula, radius, and ulna. Radius is the lateral forearm, and the ulna is the medial forearm. So you have your carpals, metacarpals, and your phalanges. So you have your phalanges, and first is the distal phalange, then you have the middle phalange, then you have your proximal phalange. Then you have your 5 metacarpals. So you have 8 carpal bones. So first you have your pisiform right here, then you have your triquetrum, then you have your lunate, and then all the way over here you have your scaphoid. Then up here you have your trapezium, then your trapezoid, then your capitate, and then your hamate.
now.
So the pelvic girdle is formed by the ossa coxae, or more commonly known as the hip bones. And this is mainly formed by the 2 coxal bones and the sacrum. Sacrum's right there. And it's different from the bony pelvis, which is formed by the 2 coxal bones, the sacrum, and the coccyx. So the bones of the pelvic girdle are very large and meant to bear our weight, and it's connected to the axial skeleton and the lower lumbar area. The most important function is to bear weight, and the pelvis houses the reproductive organs, the urinary organs, and some parts of the large intestine. Now the hip bones are formed by the fusion of the Ilium, the Ischium, and the Pubis. The Pubis. So the Ilium, which is right here, connects to the sacrum at the sacroiliac joint. And this is one of the largest bones of the hip bones. The pubis, which is right here, has parts of the bone enclosing the obturator foramen, which allows nerves and blood vessels to pass through into the thigh. And moving on, we have the ischium, which receives most of the weight. The ischium is right here. It's hard to see right here. Receives most of the weight when we sit down. Lastly, the bony pelvis, as I said, is just formed by 2 coxal bones, the sacrum and the coccyx, which makes it different from the pelvic girdle. And the false pelvis is right here, medial to the ilium, and the true pelvis is right here. This is the inlet that allows childbirth and is important for women during pregnancy.
Finally, we have the lower limb. It is comprised of 30 bones in each leg, and it carries the total body weight when you are standing. The bones of the lower limb are thicker and stronger than the bones of the upper limb because they have to hold the weight of your body. It's broken into 3 segments: your thigh, your leg, and your foot. The bone of your thigh is known as your femur. It's the heaviest and strongest bone in your leg. Then you have the tibia. It's also known as the shin bone, and it's the large medial leg bone. The skinny bone on the side is the fibula, and it's the small lateral leg bone. Then there is the foot, broken into the tarsals, the metatarsals, and the phalanges. The phalanges, like the phalanges of the hand, are distal, medial, and proximal. There's 5 metatarsals. Then the tarsal is broken into subbones. So moving into the bones of the tarsal, there's first the calcaneus, which is known as your heel. This bone right here is the talus. This bone is the navicular. Right here, this cube bone is called the cuboid. There is the lateral cuneiform, the intermediate cuneiform, and the medial cuneiform. Then we have the patella, which is your kneecap. Now it's time for a quick review of all the bones we just went over. This is the part when you're really going to want to pay attention.
Clavicle, scapula, humerus, radius, ulna, carpals, metacarpals, phalanges.
Ilium, pubis, ischium, sacrum, coccyx.
Femur, patella, tibia, fibula, tarsals, metatarsals, phalanges.